Do you follow high school sports? The San Diego Union Tribune's free UT Preps app is the go-to source for your favorite high school sports teams. Get schedules, scores, standings, news, and more right on your phone. Follow your favorite high school team by sport. Share photos and videos right from the game. See rosters and player profiles complete with game-by-game statistics and receive push notifications for game updates. Don't miss any of the action at Oceanside, Chula Vista, Torrey Pines, and many more San Diego schools. Download the free UT Preps app on Google Play or the Apple App Store.
Welcome back to the San Diego Prep Insider podcast. Tommy, Christian, and Aaron.
Hey guys,
all hanging out. Aaron fighting through some illness right now, so we gotta give you commend you playing through it.
Yes.
It's like the Jordan flu game.
Pretty much.
Give us a little shrug. Give us a little. I don't know.
I don't even know.
6-3. Here we go. Let's go. Let's get it.
So
started.
like always, we're gonna get to our top 10s. We're gonna get to our Dunkin' Dish, and then after that, we got our game picks. So we gotta start right away with the top 10s. Aaron,
all right.
Who's on yours?
Guys, I had Foothills at number 1 again. Just that's not going to change until they lose, which I don't think is going to happen for a very long time. 2, I had Cathedral Catholic. 3, I still have Saints. I've got Torrey at 4, Army Navy at 5. Big win against La Jolla Country Day this week. Kind of, shift things around a little bit. El Camino is now my 6th team. La Jolla slides to 7. They don't fall too far because 8 is Kearney, and as we know, they beat Kearney earlier in the year. 9, I have Mission Bay. They've been playing well of late until last night. We'll talk about that a little later probably. And 10, I've got Poway hanging tough. They lost a game to Torrey Pines, but I still have them, in my top 10.
Yeah, I've got a pretty similar top 10 for us representing the STPI staff. So Christian, hopefully you agree with me here. I got Foothills Christian first, Cathedral second, Saints third, Army Navy 4, El Camino 5. Mission Bay, I guess yesterday happened, but I saw them at 6. So, I mean, it's Saints. I'll give them a free pass on that. Torrey Pines 7, Country Day 8, Kearney at 9, and the Poway Titans running out the top 10. Number 10. Anything you got to add here? Anything missed, you think?
I like the teams that you have. I might reorder them a little bit just because I personally love offense, and I place more value on just straight bucket getting than anything else. But a lot of...
And apparently Mission Bay didn't get a lot of buckets.
No.
Not to say that I would endorse the NBA All-Star Game style of play, but if I was putting together a team, I'd be more geared towards first to 100 wins than first to 50
You're
wins.
more Golden State Warriors than 1990s Miami Heat, New York Knicks.
Yes. I'm not endorsing the Pistons or Steve Fisher basketball. I'm going more for...
We love San Diego State here.
I love it. No, I love San Diego
State.
But that's also why I'm not employed as a coach.
And congratulations, State, on going 8-0 so far. So those are our top 10. We got to go to our next segment, which is Dunkin' Dish. We like this.
Love it.
Really do.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
So we're going to start. Aaron, you'll answer the first one, then
please.
We'll go back and forth.
All right.
First sentence. Grossmont is going to finish in the top 10 at the end of the year.
I'm going to dish this for me, but dunk this for, the UT top 10.
Okay.
My dish is because I just don't think they're a top 10 team. They have a very gaudy record, but if you strip down their record, which I did this week, their best win is against Valhalla. Their second best win is against Vincent Memorial. And they've played 3 really good teams. They got the doors kicked off of them by La Jolla. They lost a big one to La Jolla Country Day. They played Torrey Pines tough, but they lost they lost by 1 point in that game. In a game where there was 2 points scored in the last 3 minutes of action.
Jeez.
That's that's not a game you
anti-Christian game.
Yes, very anti. So, baby. I mean, I don't see them as a top 10 team, but I also know that in the poll they arrived in the top 10 this week. And I don't see them losing many games moving forward, with the exception of maybe West Hills. So they could finish the season at 21-3, 21-4, and that record will get you a top 10. But I'm not buying it.
I'll go ahead and dunk it because it's top 10. If it was top 5, I'd dish it. But 10, I think, is a 10 or 9 or 10 is an easy spot for them to get to. I don't disagree with your assessment of their losses. There has been some defeats that really you shouldn't be proud of that I think will hinder them going higher than 10. But I can see them. They have enough talent that you just would think on paper that it should be finishing there. But I'll dunk it.
Aaron, something out of things.
Second best win is Vincent Memorial, guys. That's pretty much, they have the worst strength of schedule of any of the top 15 teams in the county. They're not playing anyone. So, I mean, it's great when you've got that big record. It's almost a repeat of what happened the last couple years, where they had a really gaudy record going into the playoffs, host a home game, and lose a home game in the first round. It's just history repeating itself.
All right, so we'll see what happens at the end of the year. Going on to our second statement, Christian, we'll start with you this time. La Jolla Country will win the Division II title.
Ooh. I'll dunk it. I would dunk it. I would have said dish that before the Santa Fe Christian game, but dunk it afterwards, because without Bruce, they still did it. Matt Bender came in, got it done in a big way, which to me shows that they are a team that, yes, they did lose to a McDonald's All-American, and okay, they're not ready to compete on that level yet, but they showed that they can adapt, they can win in different ways, and they can bounce back from stumbling really hard. 2 losses after 18 straight wins. For some teams, that can be the torpedo that sinks the whole season. They bounce back. They showed that they can get it done in a bunch of ways. I will say dunk it.
Aaron?
I'm going to dunk it too. And, taking that, I'm going to take that Army-Navy game, where first game without Bruce, they're down like 18 or 19 in the first quarter. And somehow the score is 59-55 at the end of the game. That just shows how they're able to make that adjustment. And you're exactly right. Matt Bender had a great kind of coming out party for himself.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you look at the rest of the competition in Division II, it's actually a really good field. I mean, you've got La Jolla, you've got Mira Mesa, Valley Center is deep at 10, and Valley Center could cause an upset or two. There are really good teams within the ranks. Rancho Bernardo, Orange Glen, but
it'll be a shootout. It'll be a fun playoffs to watch.
Oh, no doubt. But I think they come out on top. And I honestly, I think we could see an all La Jolla Division II final with La Jolla and La Jolla Country Day making it. How would that be for this little corner of the earth? That'd be awesome.
That'd be tense here in the studio. But
have a rockin' and bird rock, right?
Yeah, exactly. We might have to take that out to a restaurant in Toronto and settle it. Like just like,
hey.
Anyway, moving on to the third one. Aaron, we'll start with you this time. A good season in league can offset a poor out of league season.
I'm going to dunk that because I've actually seen that happen before. Part of it is, especially in the new paradigm of high school basketball, you've got kids who are sitting out half the season via transfer. So you may not have your complete team in non-league, and you may stumble.
And you might have some football guys too.
Exactly.
That's the big
football
point.
Guys transfers. They come in, they change the tenor and tone of the season. I will say though that a good season in league, in my opinion, if you've stumbled pretty far in non-league, I mean, you've got to 8-2 plus run the table in league in order to really offset that. The place where it will hurt you is playoff seedings. There's a lot in terms of non-league schedule. There, that does impact where you're going to fall. We've seen that happen before. Lincoln a couple of years back, they were without Tyree and Tyrell Robinson for a large swath of the season due to injury and college selections. They were the 12th seed in Division II. The two of them come back for the playoffs, beat Morse, the 5 seed, beat the 4 seed San Isidro, make it all the way to the Division Division II semis. So, in my opinion, I'm dunking that one.
I'm going to dish it.
Okay.
I think that right now the way things are structured with having... Yes, you do have schools that are going to lose kids. Helix is always going to be playing football later than everybody else, so their basketball team is going to have some issues there. And college selections and kids getting injured and whatnot is always going to wreak havoc on a select list of kids or teams every year. But the way that the power rankings happen now, you can be someone like, let's take like Sage Creek, for example, being a D4 school playing in league with a bunch of D1s, they are going to probably have a better non-league than league schedule, but still end up as a high enough seed in the playoffs.
Very true.
And granted, that's one example of it all, but I think there is enough way to work the system now that you can front load your season, win a bunch of games, come in looking good, and then be like
0-10 in league,
and then go 0-10 in league, and still set yourself up for we learned a lot in league. We got beat by teams better than us,
and now we can beat up.
On others. So let's talk about that actually, because that's our fourth and final dunker dish. Christian, we'll start with you. The current playoff structure should be changed because, as you're saying, you can kind of manipulate your schedule a little bit.
I'd say dunk it. I would first off say less schools, and hate me for this all you want, but I think that we live in too much of a participation trophy kind of culture where
Burgin right there.
Some schools maybe it's great experience to say to the kids you got to play in the playoffs, but getting to the playoffs should be a reward for a hard fought winning season, or doing something where you just got thrown into a league that was well out of your talent range, and you took it in the teeth for a couple games, but you played Carlsbad and Torrey Pines and LCC really well.
Yeah.
I would say something like 8 teams, and just let the best 8 really duke it out. Maybe 10. I don't know if I have a perfect answer for it,
right,
but I would dunk it. I'd say reform.
I emphatic. Just it's
Shaquille O'Neal break the backboard.
Pretty much shift the stanchion, whatever you want to call it. And I've looked at this for the past couple of years, and you look at the power rankings, the way that they're, the way they're set up. You get, I think a couple years ago, I think it was last year maybe, Torrey Pines got the same amount of points for beating Westchester, a perennial LA City section power, as Vista did for beating El Cajon Valley. There's something inherently wrong with that scale.
Right.
Going to your point about the number of teams, I agree in the lower divisions, Division 3 and below, we shouldn't have a 16-team field, because the way it's set up right now is the divisions are set up by your previous 5-year body of work. So the worst teams are Division 3 and below. And there's no reason for 16 teams, 16 of the worst teams in the county, to be able, A, to compete in the playoffs, and B, have the potential to represent the section in a state playoff game where they're going to get steamrolled by 100. I mean, and that happened a few years back too. Well, actually happened last year when Maranatha beat Pacific Ridge by 60. Is it nice to say we had an opportunity for the first time in our school history to play for Division 4 title? Yeah, it's great for that fan base. But is it great for San Diego basketball? In my opinion, it's not. I think the very best schools should represent our region in the playoffs. And I think that part of the problem is the power rating system. It's in need of reform. And there are places out there, Cal Preps, Max Preps, they all have rating systems that are...
And I hopefully agree with you this. I don't want to come across as indicting the lower schools, saying you're not good enough. But I think that there is something to be said about when the competition is a little closer, it forces everybody to be a little better.
Yeah.
When you have to say to the kids, look, we have to win 10 games this season to make it to the playoffs, you can light a little more fire to elevate your whole team's talent level.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, hey, look, I signed us up for a strength of schedule that even if we go sub 500, we're going to be fine.
Yep.
Let's just get into the playoffs. And then that's just the coach working the mathematical formula there. So I would love to see an environment where it really helps elevate everybody to play a little bit higher caliber game.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think maybe the computers help a little bit, but I think as humans we can all see what's going on when someone kind of manipulates your schedule. Sure. So speaking of schedules, we got to go to our game picks this week. 5 games, just like always.
Let's see if anybody can catch the medium stallion.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at last week. Last week wasn't good for some of us. Better for some of us.
I got kneecapped.
It wasn't great for some of us, but we our points standing right now. We've got yours truly with 6.
The Stallion,
4.
taking it home right now.
Only 2 weeks in. Only 2 weeks in. So we'll.
Hey, I stand by all my picks all season long. I'm not backing down.
I stand by them until they lose, and then I back that.
All right,
so I'll go down the burning ship with.
So since I've got the lead, I will start off with my pick first for this.
Why not?
We've got Poway going to Rancho Bernardo.
Ooh.
Poway, they got a good record like we've been talking about, but they just squeaked past Canyon Crest and Mount Carmel. So I'm thinking that record's a little bit of an aberration, so I'm going to go with the Broncos. I will take Rancho Bernardo. Aaron, who do you have?
I'm going to go with RB in this one. Actually, in the beginning of the year, I had RB as picked to be second behind Torrey in league, and it's kind of played out a little differently with Poway, having such a strong non-league season. But they're playing at Rancho Bernardo, and I think that's the trump card. Playing in front of a home crowd, two teams close to equal, you've got to give it to the home team, except for Patrick Henry beating Hoover last week. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick RB though.
It might be sacrilege to go against the home team because I do love home court advantage, but Poway, you're gonna bring it home for me. Joe Murray and the 3-point shooting there is going to be enough to get it done. I've described Poway as they might not be flashy and huge upside, but they are a team with minimal downside. So I think they're capable of going on the road and getting a big win.
All right, there's a chance to make up a game there if you get it right. Our next game, Aaron, we'll start with you on this one. Mission Bay and La Jolla, they've already played, but this time it's at La Jolla, so what's going to happen?
It's at La Jolla. I'm still going to pick Mission Bay, and I'm going to pick them for the reasons that Christian doesn't like them that much. They play defense. They are a good defensive group. Sometimes that masks some of their offensive struggles. I like La Jolla. I think Reed Farley is an incredible talent. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the state. But they have no answer for Armstrong Ojunku on the inside. I think Justin Moore is pretty tough on the outside. And if guys like Rajon Ellis, Jerome Sherman, and Monster, that's what they call him, Hilliard, are knocking down shots, I think they win. And I think it'll be a little closer than the 21-point affair to start league, but I still think Mission Bay pulls it off.
Christian?
I'm going to go with La Jolla. I completely agree on the assessment of Reed Farley, and this game is going to be decided in the mid-range to perimeter because it's no doubt that Mission Bay is going to win the interior. Mm-hmm. I just cannot be convinced by a team that only scores 25 in a complete game, or 28 in a complete game, that you have the shooting ability to go on the road and win. It's like I was saying with Poway, upside, downside.
Well,
but
here's the thing. They did score 77 points last time they played La Jolla. So I think they'll be able to figure it out offensively. I wouldn't worry too much if I was them, and I'm going to take Mission Bay as well.
I love the way this week is shaping up, baby.
Underrated player in this game is going to be Eddie Parker for La Jolla. He's had a really good year. Watch out for him in this game.
All right, going to our third game. Christian, we'll start with you on this one. A couple teams we haven't talked about too much. Vincent Memorial traveling to Pacific Ridge.
I'll take Vincent Memorial. I can say that from what I've seen of them this season, they have a fairly decent offensive approach to the ball. Mm-hmm. So it's at Pacific Ridge.
Right.
I for whatever reason picking a lot of road teams this week, but that's another one where they will probably go in there and win by 10.
So I'm going to take Vincent Memorial as well. Got to talk about this one kid, Fabian Arciniega.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Already has 5 games where he scored over 30 points, and they weren't against bad teams either. It was against Hoyok and Trude, Bonavista, Olympian, Palo Verde, and Brawley. So these were not joke games. I mean, this kid, I'm not a lot of people talking about him because he's all the way, well, one person's talking about him, but he's all the way out there in the Imperial Valley, so he kind of gets overlooked, but great player.
Their school is 5 blocks away from the U.S.-Mexico border. Their team has 7 guys on it, but Fabian is a very, very talented player. I saw him against Eastlake. I think he had 23 points, 10 boards, and 12 assists in that game against Eastlake.
Gosh.
And they were down all the way until the third quarter and blew the doors off of Eastlake in the fourth quarter. This is a kid that can play at the very least the Division III level, and if he goes to junior college, has a shot to play at a higher level. And Pacific Ridge, after last year winning, the Division IV title, they're in a bit of a rebuild, and I think Vincent Memorial takes it too. I think it's a sweep on this one.
All right, so we've got Vincent Memorial. Our fourth game, getting closer to the San Diego area this time. Scripps Ranch traveling to Mira Mesa really quickly. I've got Mira Mesa in this game. Aaron, who do you have?
I've got Scripps Ranch. I like what they've been doing recently. They just beat La Jolla in a Western League game. Karsten Denherter is a very good senior, and Batori Kayonku and a couple of other guys. Sean Kelly, a transfer from Saints, and they have a freshman, Michael Barcia, who's had a really good year. I like Mira Mesa. James Oddie is a beast. He's an absolute beast. But I think what's killed them, what's killed Mira Mesa in games, has been teams with good guard play. And I think Scripps has that this year. So I'm going to pick Scripps.
I'm going to go with Mira Mesa. I just cannot say enough about James Oddie and his talent. The kid is a lot of fun to watch. A big kid with one of the highest end motors I've ever seen on a big kid.
He can run.
But it's not just running. It's boards.
Yeah.
He's just every major
after games. You can tell the kid just is drenched.
Every single major moment in a Mira Mesa game, he's within 5 feet of it. And to me, I love a guy like that who you can just count on athletically and has the composure mentally to do it. I'll side with Mira Mesa.
Okay.
All right, so our final game, it's kind of out. We got a team up from LA. We've got Narbonne, is that right?
Narbonne from Harbor City.
Yep, traveling down to San Diego to take a Cathedral. Aaron, who do you have?
I'm going to pick the home team in this one, Cathedral Catholic. There are some great parallels between the LA City section and San Diego section this year. Both have some of the deepest talent that they've had in years. Narbonne is one of the better city section teams. They've got a couple of guys, Psalm Madwokor, sorry Psalm. I know your brother Rev, so my apologies, but they've got a lot of talent and a lot of just under the radar talent. Cathedral has Brandon McCoy, and I think that will be enough to offset what Narbonne brings to the table. So I'm going to pick the Dons.
I will side with Cathedral. I think that the drive down from LA is too much to overcome when you have evenly matched talent.
I'm going to be the only one to take the Gauchos here. I'll take Narbonne.
Please.
They've got, talking about Brandon McCoy, he's a big guy. Narbonne's got a lot of football guys that are on their basketball team, and they're going to make it difficult inside for Cathedral.
It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a physical affair.
I've seen Narbonne in the over at the Compton Magic Fall League at Westminster High School, and they were very impressive. They beat Westminster, I want to say it was like 60 points. Just floored them. And they've got, like you said, they've got athletes.
Yeah.
They've got athletes in spades.
So those are our picks for the week. Good luck to all of you.
Please.
I'm telling you, just copy my picks. You'll do well. That's all you got.
I'm going to be so far behind. I'm going to be I'm going to be down with Ty in the basement.
Anyway, before we get out of here, we got last week we put a challenge out to some student sections to become a little more creative.
I believe that we can win stuff.
We're San Diego said it's fine. Everywhere else, please no. And we have one student section. Christian, you want to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So far, the best people to answer the bell, if you will, is
Sage Creek.
The Bob Squad. It's at Sage Creek. Take a look at this video. They call it the row. The row. Where you just gotta row. So I don't know if they're trying to start a crew team or whatnot, but shout out Sage Creek. Well done on coming up with.
And if I'm not to cut you off or anything, they take advantage of the fact they have kind of a unique gym.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of schools can do this because they do have that second level where you can kind of see them go across. So very smart.
Exactly. New school, they're putting themselves on the map the right way. So I'll continue to issue that challenge. If you think you're a student section that has the goods, let us know what's up.
They were this close to getting their first Avocado West League win in their school history in varsity against Vista. Played a valiant effort, fell a few points short, but future's promising over there.
And I want to mention another kid, Xavier Allison. Great player. We were there to watch them play.
Both sides of that game, a lot of fun talent. It's probably an overlooked matchup, but that'll become a better matchup as the year's going.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I just want to say I'm looking forward to the next, slate of league games, and looking forward to playoffs, and just continue to, play hard and play like nobody's watching, even though you know that we are.
Christian?
I'd say the opposite. Play like I'm watching. Give me the buckets to cover.
All right, guys, we'll get out of here. We'll see you all next week with our game picks, Dunker Dish, and results from this week.
Here we go. Did you just dab?